Have you checked the children? Show a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the horror show Shark Week. I'm Cecil Laird.
And you have Jaime and Fuego still here.
And we are continuing this coverage with our review of a movie called The Reef. Now, this movie is actually pretty close. If you missed our last two reviews, it's pretty close in plot to both Open Water and Open Water 3 Cage Dive. But it does them both a little bit better. And so I have actually, when I first saw this years ago, closer to when it came out, I was a big fan of it. It's an Aussie movie.
Yes.
A lot of these well-done creature and bitey creature movies are done well. The same director actually did Black Water and the more recently released Black Water Abyss, which,
Yeah.
But The Reef, however, is quite a good movie, I thought. The characters are more entertaining. The actors are better. The effects are quite good, and the blending of real-world shark footage with the actors and stuff like that, I think did a really good job. So overall, I was a big fan of this movie. What about you, Fuego?
I'm right there with you, man. Yeah, and we actually have like a slightly larger cast here too compared to like an Open Water or something, so more potential for, you know, nasty things to go down. It is gorier at times and a little more just thoughtfully kind of developed and put together when you have these particular kills, and they just really have more heft when they actually happen. And I enjoyed the cast. I did. I mean, you've got two old friends, and we'll get to it in the story, and you know there's a sister and an old love interest, and yet it didn't feel as hammy and hackneyed and, you know, just CWE, as I mentioned yesterday, all about Open Water 3. This actually felt like more real developed characters as opposed to caricatures, and the setup is almost more menacing at times with like swimming up into a boat after it gets knocked down. So yeah, I dug this one, man. Knocked
Capsized.
down. Yeah. No.
After you knock down
over
that boat.
Yeah, after you flip that mofo. Flip it over.
Yeah, so you enjoyed it too then. Excellent.
I did.
Good,
I did.
good, good.
Yeah.
I
This one
think that's a
impressed me,
general
man.
consensus. It's funny, we had someone comment on our like Jaws 3 review, you guys should review The Reef. I'm like, oh, we are, don't
It's
worry.
coming, baby.
But yeah, so the story is about a group of people going on a day sailing trip, and the boat capsizes. It's not a rogue wave, I don't think, or at least whatever happens, we don't see it. Because we're in the boat.
Yeah, I assume the shark rammed them. Because
That's got to be a really strong shark.
I guess so, but that was at least the vibe that I got, or some weird.
See, I got the
something.
rogue wave vibe. It's just they didn't show the wave.
Yeah.
Because the way they
that
do it
takes-
is there's
would take
someone
money
in the
and-
deck,
yeah.
and he's like looking around for something, and all of a sudden everything goes topsy-turvy,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden he's underwater.
It's him and the other guy who's like stuck in that little area, and they're trying to pull open the door to get him out, his friend. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he even swims up and under, finds the other people who were up above on deck, and then he's
yeah,
like,
everyone's
"Where's?"
gotten on the hull on top, and so yeah, they all make it up there, and they realize, oh crap, we're still in shark-infested waters. There's one dude that refuses to leave the boat.
It's the guy who took them out there. He's like, "I know how many sharks in these waters. I'm not swimming back
Yeah,
to that
because one
shore."
guy's like, I'm pretty sure there's an island if we head this direction that we passed. It's like 15 miles or 5 miles. If we can swim it, we can make it there.
And is that
the
the
guy's
same-
like, no, I can't. No way.
And yet, is that the same one that they went to at the beginning of the film? I'm trying to remember
can't
because I
remember.
watched this earlier in the week. But yeah, still, similar premise and setup with, you know, the fact that they are off the boat and they're trying to figure out where the hell they're
Well,
going to go.
some are. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
they have to decide who's going to go and who's going to stay and try and wait for rescue before the capsized boat sinks.
And this was another one that I think was based on true events.
Oh,
as
really?
well.
Oh, God, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, lots of stuff happens in those Aussie
Well,
waters,
if so, there's someone that at least was around to tell the story this time. That's the other thing I didn't even mention in Open Water that pissed me off when I first saw it. How do they know any of that shit happened when both people died?
Well, because they found some of their like equipment. That
I
was,
understand,
like,
but
floating around.
everything that happened in the water,
Well, that's
their
where it's-
arguments and
that's where
their
it's a
like
dramatization,
dramatization.
for
I'm like,
sure,
that's based on true story crap. Anyway,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I should have gotten that out in the other review.
Loosely based on true events.
But this, whether it's based on true events or not, this is at least entertaining. That's
Very
the
much
nice
so.
thing, and the difference between this and those two Open Water movies that we reviewed. You care about the characters.
Yeah.
The sharks are genuinely menacing, and it's really just one. So what we were saying before is most of the people decide to go and swim for the island. One guy decides to stay by, the guide that you were talking about.
And also the one girl is like, nope, I'm not doing it. And then she has a change of heart, and she's like, you know what? I'm not going to stay with this dude. I'm going to go with the other people, because a lot of, and at least the slightly informed even know that you're better off if you're all together in a group as opposed to going solo.
Yeah, they play with that trope quite a bit, because there's often times that things get away from our group, and like someone is like, am I going to go to it? Like, you're basically peeling yourself off from the group, which is going to make you a target.
Yep.
So they play with that tension. They're really good at building that tension. Yeah. So I quite enjoy it. So I don't know. What about you?
Well, and also when the sharks start to actually get in place, I mean, I don't know. I felt so much worse for the characters when the kills actually happened, because of the fact that I felt they were developed better. Because all of these movies, they have an opening 30, maybe 35, 40 minutes where they're just like solidifying everybody. And in this one, the friendship amongst the two male characters, and also even the prior relationship that goes on with the one sister and his other male friend. They frolic a little bit on that little beach that they go to. Well, they do, because the two couples split off, and then he just goes and walks after her, and he walks up with this feather, and he's like, look what I found. And then you can tell that there is still attraction, but there's been friction. They haven't seen each other in a while. They kiss, but there's still much more uncertainty on her part. But I was engaged and invested, and that's a good segue into the acting once we talk more about it. But I mean, solid storytelling just is elevated and becomes even better when the actors are both bringing it themselves and directed well. So
yeah, no, I agree. So the characters, we kind of touched on the acting and the story at the same time there.
And the story gave me at least one unexpected kill in particular that I was taken off guard by, and I was like, damn, all right. Yeah.
I was biting my nails all the way up to the end of this movie. I'll say that much.
Third act is tension.
Yeah, like I was like, come on, like that's the way I was in this movie, and that's a feather in the movie's cap, quite frankly.
Yeah, feather, like we just said.
Exactly. Well, the acting, I think we've touched on the acting is all strong in this. The effects are really well done. I mean, they don't show the wave that overturns the boat or whatever it is. It's definitely. I really think the boat's too heavy.
I
for
just
a shark
had some
to
strange
knock
theory.
it down, as you put. But nonetheless, outside of that, the actual menace of the shark using the real footage was really effective. And then when it attacked, that was really well done as well. And it was actually closer. I think maybe one of the reasons subconsciously you might have liked it is those attacks are closer to the attack on the Kidner boy in Jaws than a lot of these, where you just see like a fin flipping as someone's getting attacked and blood bubbling up and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, but also decent underwater struggle and stuff like that. I mean, this isn't the type of gore you're going to see in like Deep Blue Sea or even something like the next one we're reviewing, which is Shark Night 3D, which had way more gore in it for PG-13 than I was expecting. But sometimes you don't need to show it as much. Sometimes you just need to care about the character, and then you see enough and you're just that floored by the situation that it's as effective. I mean, the whole Jaws thing was that we saw less of the shark, and yet it was less is more sort of approach, I guess. But this blended it well. I will definitely agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much as we want to say about this. There's not, again, the score didn't really stick out to me very much in this.
Not in particular, unfortunately.
So, that's okay. We don't really need to touch on that.
But I mean, even the director's previous Blackwater was very, like, sparse score, just very much almost
very
borderline found footage-y in the fact that it's just an in-your-face sort of situation that a score doesn't necessarily make as much sense. So
cinematography, though, for the movie is really well done.
Yes.
Really well done. Indeed. Again, all of these movies, they have so many limitations due to the fact that you're shooting them on open water. And even if you're just offshore, you're still shooting them technically in open water, and it makes it really hard because I guarantee none of these guys had access to Universal's Jaws soundstage, the massive one that looks like the ocean. So they don't have that, so they're shooting out on open water, and they are framing the shots beautifully and doing it where you're filled with tension, and you just got to give them kudos for that.
Absolutely. It's not easy shooting on water. Just ask Kevin Costner, man. I mean,
God. Ugh, that
I had
movie.
to go
Well,
there.
you know, that's attained some sort of cult status by this point.
At this
It's
point, I
crazy.
haven't revisited it in forever.
I
but
haven't either.
It's
but
still probably pretty bad.
We'll see. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Anyway, sidetrack.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Let us know what your thoughts are on The Reef if you've seen it in the comments down below. Thank you very much to our patrons for supporting the channel directly. The link to that is in the description box. If you want to join Patreon, you can actually request movies for us to review, do commentaries, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
thank you to those of you that are doing that.
Yeah, appreciate
Until
it.
next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
And gracias a Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.